Texan Rockers.
Hey, Texan Rockers. This is Mark Schaefer. I'm Eric Madison, and welcome to a moment
of virtue. So today's moment of virtue is from Seneca, who wrote the moral epistles, or letters of kind of instruction for how to live the best ethical life. He's one of my favorite Latin authors.
Is that right?
Yeah, which is totally nerdy to have a favorite Latin author, but there you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right.
So in letter 56, he says something really profound, Eric.
What's that?
First of all, he says that most of us have a hidden struggle. Whether it's greed, sex addiction, drug addiction, selfishness that no one else knows about, envy of the stuff our neighbor has, we almost all have what he calls a vice, the opposite of virtue, that plagues our soul. And what he says is fascinating, because our instinct is always to hide it. Like, we don't want anyone to know we're dealing with that. Right. For Seneca, that's when the problem's the most serious. Actually, it's when you put it out there and you say, I'm an addict, or I struggle to tell the truth, or I struggle with greed and wanting more and more for myself. When you own that about yourself and will speak it to other people, he says that's when you're on your way to becoming more virtuous and shedding that vice.
Yes.
Isn't that cool?
Yes.
He says it like this. Okay. For all unconcealed vices are less serious. That is, if you put your problem out there for people to see, it's less serious, not more serious. He says a disease also is farther on the road to being cured when it breaks forth from concealment and manifests its power, right? Like when you can point to the monster in the corner of your soul and name it out loud, that's when you're actually on your way to doing something positive about it and making positive change. And then what he says next is so powerful, I think. He says, so it is with greed, ambition, and the other evils of the mind. So all of the things that are internal in our thought life, in our emotional life, that other people can't readily see. He says all of those things, you may be sure that they do the most harm when they are hidden behind a pretense of soundness.
Yes.
That is, when you act like you're okay and you have virtue, but actually you're at war inside with the things you're drawn to, the words you want to say, and the evil you think towards your brothers and sisters.
Right.
So, for Seneca, the way out of the dark is to go all the way into it and name it. And name it for other people and be okay with it. How many of us maybe have friends that have recovered from addiction, and the first step for them
is to say,
I'm an addict.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So for you, I don't know what your struggles are, but I can agree with Seneca that we all have them. There's not a person that walks God's green earth and doesn't have a vice within their soul. And Seneca says, name it, and then you're on your way to curing it.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, Texan Rockers, have a great week, and we will see you next time.
Be good to each other.